This is a 70mm 4K Omni dash cam, and it's probably the best dash cam that I've ever used. Now, I do want to give a huge thank you to 70mm for sponsoring today's video. In fact, this whole video is about this 70mm dash cam. Now, it's not a full review because I don't do sponsored reviews. Instead, it's more of a product highlight, I guess. But I have been using this dash cam for the last week, and I really like it. I've had a bunch of different dash cams, and I've always felt like I've needed them because I live in Philadelphia, and the streets of Philadelphia are garbage when it comes to driving. It's pretty bad in Jersey too, but Philly is the worst. It's just like anytime I drive anywhere, I feel like someone's about to take me out or hit me from one side or cut me off or give me the finger or whatever, and I'd like to capture that stuff on camera because if anything does happen, at least I'll have some proof to say like, hey officer, this is what happened. It wasn't me, it wasn't your boy, it was instead this gentleman over here who rammed into me from the side. But the problem that I've had with a lot of my other dash cams is that they're not high enough resolution and their app connectivity isn't great. Not only that, I really have always wanted to have both a front-facing dash cam and a rear-facing dash cam. But that's where this 70mm 4K Omni dash cam came in. So this features both the front-facing camera and the rear-facing camera. The front-facing one is the only one that's actually 4K. But it's pretty cool because it's got this 360-degree rotating head, which means that it can film literally anything. You can set the default area that it aims at, so I have it set directly out the front windshield, just because that's usually where I'm driving, but I can rotate it depending on the situation, which is nice. Compared to other dash cams, the 70mm 4K Omni lives up to its name. It's actually a 4K dash cam, 3840 by 2160 at 60 frames per second. The front-facing camera also has Sony's Starvis 2. Now, I'm not totally sure what that is, but apparently it's a good thing. So, I mean, anything Sony is usually pretty decent. In fact, all the cameras that I'm filming on in the studio are Sony. 70mm also has their own proprietary color solution called, I think, My Color Solution Plus or My Color Vivid Plus Solution. That's the name. The camera also comes with 70mm Night Owl Vision, which is a low light setting. Now, I don't believe the rear camera has any of these settings that I just talked about. It's a 1080p camera. It films well enough, it gets the job done, and if someone hits you from behind, you can still see it pretty well, but it's not as high resolution as the front-facing camera, which is fine because most dash cams are only front-facing anyway, and that's usually where most of the problems occur. That being said, it is really nice to have a rear-facing dash camera. Now, unfortunately, one feature that I was not able to test was the intelligent parking surveillance. That actually surveils your car when it's turned off, when you're parked, kind of like a Tesla cam or something like that, but instead, it uses its own proprietary surveillance system that kind of makes sure that no one's creeping around your car, checking the handles, things like that, and if they are, it'll record it. Now the problem is, in order to use that, you actually have to hardwire the camera to your car, and I'm not tech savvy enough to do that. I know this channel is Seth Fowler, and I'm pretty tech savvy, but I've never, wired anything into my car, so I'm gonna leave that to the professionals, although probably a lot of you guys watching this video can do that. I'm just not one of those people, so I just plugged it right into my USB in the dashboard. But for me, that's fine because where I live, I've never had any issues. None of my neighbors have had any issues, so I'm not too worried about it. But just know that it does have it. It has AI Motion Detect 2.0. Not sure what 1.0 was like, but apparently 2.0 is pretty great. What's really cool about AI Motion Detection 2.0 is that the 4K Omni can effectively detect and capture any unusual movement around your vehicle, whether you're parked in a busy lot or just on a quiet street. Oh, and it's also got collision detection. So if someone backs into your car and the camera senses it, it'll start recording to make sure that you catch that person's license plate before they speed off, which has happened to me so many times, but unfortunately, I didn't catch it on camera. Well, I didn't have this camera yet, so I wouldn't have caught it on camera. And of course, because this camera does have 360 rotation, it can track people as they walk around your car, which is a really cool feature. Again, haven't personally tested that part, and again, this is not a review, but just letting you know that is a feature that it has. Now, surprisingly, installing this camera was pretty easy. Usually when I install a dash cam, I just stick it up there and I let the camera hang down the front of the dashboard through my windshield, which doesn't bother me, but it does bother a lot of people. The nice thing is that even though this has a rear-facing dash cam that has to actually be connected via wire, they gave you this little spudger thing that you can use to kind of push the wires up into the top of the car, and they gave you instructions that made it really easy to do. So while I thought it was going to be a huge, long process, it did take me like 30 minutes to figure out, but once I got it figured out, just pushed everything up, and I was good to go. Obviously, be careful about airbags and things like that. Like, I didn't push it into any panels that had airbags in them because I just didn't want to even mess with that. What I'm going to do is actually tape it up, like, sort of around those areas just to make sure that nothing stops the airbags from deploying. The 70mm 4K Omni is also 4G compatible, so if you want to connect it to a cellular service, you can, which will allow you to find your car when you're parked or upload data right to the cloud. I currently don't have that. I just have it uploading to my phone or to my SD card, which actually comes with the camera, which is pretty cool. So I plug that in, good to go. Pull it out when I need to offload footage to my computer. That's how I did it to give you guys this footage that you're seeing right now. I pulled it out of the camera, plugged it into my computer, good to go. Also with 4G connectivity, you can actually connect to your camera while you're parked somewhere and check it from the other side of the world. It's really cool. And of course, you get notifications if someone bangs into your car, which is important. One little side note that I really liked about this camera is that whenever you turn it on or turn it off, you get these little like startup animations, which is like this cute little bear thing. That's kind of right there. Well, I don't know if it's a bear. It's just got like eyes and a big nose, but it's very cute. I don't mind it. Also, it has voice commands, so you can say something like, take photo, and it takes a picture, which is pretty rad. Take a photo. In addition to all of that, apparently it's got a super capacitor, which helps with durability in hot and cold conditions, so it's not going to have power issues in extreme heat or extreme cold. Actually, also something else that I've noticed with changing weather conditions is that the suction cup that most dash cams come with comes unstuck if it gets too hot or too cold too quickly. So sometimes I'll come out to my car in the morning and see the dash cam sitting on the passenger seat because it fell down. With this, you got this really sticky sticker thing, I don't know what to call it, but it's a very sticky sticker that really just sticks to that windshield, and it does not come off even in hot and cold conditions. For some reason in Philadelphia, over the last week, we've experienced both very cold and pretty moderate heat. Nothing like super hot, but moderate heat, like 65, 70, indirect sunlight, which I understand is not hot, but, you know, it's sunny. But so far, so good. Can't speak to the longevity of it, but so far, so good. So that pretty much wraps up my brief overview of the 70mm 4K Omni. If you guys want to check it out for yourself, make sure to click the link in the top of the description below and use my discount code 4K Omni Tech F, which gets you 10% off. You can also use the other discount code below that to get you a free CPL filter. You do have to add the CPL filter to your cart and then use that discount code, but it's great, it's free. Overall, using this for the last week, I've been pretty impressed with it. It's the best dash cam that I've ever used. Now, I haven't used every dash cam, but so far, so good. My only gripe about it is that it is somewhat large, so you want to put it in an area that doesn't really obstruct your view. I've got it sort of behind my mirror, so it doesn't really get in the way. But I love everything else about it. It's very easy to connect to. The app is great. I've downloaded my footage very easily. The 4K resolution is great. You can definitely see what's going on. I wish the back camera was a little bit higher resolution, but it's not bad. I also really like those little startup animations. They're cute. They're nice. It's a nice way to turn on your car in the morning, seeing this nice little like camera smiling at you. That does sound creepy, but it's cuter than it sounds. But hey, with that being said, thank you so much for watching today's video. Thank you again to 70mm for sponsoring today's video, and I will see you all in the next one.